Hey guys, welcome to another video. My name is Rajnator and today we are going to be building some artwork and some 3D models for the new Warrobots 10-year anniversary artwork contest. For this contest, I want to build two whole items. I'm going to be recreating this very iconic Google image, and secondly, I'm going to be building an entirely new working mech. I can't wait to get started. And the best part is both of these items are going to be free in Recoloring. So if you want to try them out or get it yourself, you can. Hope you guys enjoy. So, where do we start? As you see in this image, we have Rajan in the front line, we have all this debris, a few beacons in the background, and some buildings. What I want to focus on is Rajan itself, the hill of trash right here, and a few buildings in the background. We're gonna start by getting the model for Rajan and start posing it. Let's do that. So, let's start by creating a new fresh room to build the set. The next step is to build the iconic robot Rajan from Warrobots. Luckily, I already built a very high quality working model. This invention is actually one of my newest and greatest creations yet. The first working mech of mine to feature CV2, animated bones and joints, screen mode compatibility, and many more cool features. I also released a cinematic showcase release video already on my YouTube. You all should go check that out, it's pretty cool. Anyways, hope you enjoy the time lapse. So, I just finished making the photo and shared it to Recoloring. I also cheered the photo on my portfolio so others can cheer and support from there too. But not to worry, I will be publishing this room once the video is out on YouTube and share it to Pixonic for the art contest. Let's hope they love it. And with that being said, let's start on the next project. So, the next item I want to build is another working mech in Rec Room, because that is what I'm known to do in Rec Room. I'm known for building working mechs, spaceships, guns, tanks, etc. And of course, for the War Robots 10th year anniversary, I wanted to build, of course, as you guessed it, another working mech. And that's what I'm going to do today. And I had trouble deciding what robot I wanted to build, so I chose amongst these 5 contenders right here, Titan not included. And the reason why I chose these 5 is because they are amongst the oldest robots in War Robots. And I wanted it to be a very iconic robot. So out of all these, I decided to choose the iconic Vityats, with its 2 light and 1 heavy. The reason why I chose this is because, to be honest, you see it almost every time you log in, change weapons, and if you are an old-time player like me, you probably have seen this running around the battlefield at some point. This is a very iconic robot, and I do want to recreate this mech in Rec Room. It'll be lovely, and I'm sure plenty of people will love it. So, before I work on this model, let me do a quick 360 view of the robot so I can get all the angles and so I can be as accurate as I can be. So now I've just decided on what robot and model to use to model in Rec Room. And usually when it comes to how I build my working projects, the next thing to do is get sound effects. And I use a lot of sound effects from War Robots, because one of the things I love about this game is the sound effects. So let me turn up the volume on the game. And usually when I get sound effects, if you do want to record sound effects in this game yourself, what I recommend is going to Team Deathmatch, going to Springfield. I've done a little bit of research on all of the maps, and by far the middle of Springfield is by far the quietest, since it has little to no ambience. So this is the map I use. But what's your preference? Also, I will be playing the sound effects as I will right now, so if any of you would like the sound effects, you are more than welcome to. So let me get in position and get the sound effects. Alright, now that I have the sound effects, I can safely close the game and edit these sound effects into Rec Room. I will note that I will not be using the Punisher and the Schnosh Horn sound effects, as I already have built the model and the sound effects already in Rec Room in previous inventions. So to make it easier on myself, I will just be reusing the models and the sound, just like I did with the Rajan picture art project, just to save time and effort, because, to be honest, I don't really want to make the same thing a million times, and I don't think anyone else would want to do that. So, that is what I'll be doing. So, the next step in the invention making process is making the model. When it comes to making inventions and models, I tend to build everything small and scale it up later. Another thing about the way I build is most of my inventions and models lack some form of detail. Some people usually say that I'm the type of person who makes things come to life. I don't just focus on modeling. I care about sound design, animation, and adding function. Think of my building set as a all-round balanced builder, not just putting all effort on modeling but quality, how it will sound, move, and be interactive. My skill set is very wide and ranged, all the way from animating, high quality sound design, effects, and circuits, not just focusing on modeling. Anyway, here's a whole time-lapse of the modeling building process. Alright, I just finished modeling, and I think it looks pretty nice, pretty good. And now the next step in the building process, is to recolor. Here's my friend. Do you want to say anything before we get started? Anything? Alright. Well, let's begin the recoloring process. Alright, so I just finished recoloring, and now it's time for the fun part. Gotta animate, insert the engine, make it move. Alright, let's get started. Alright guys, I just finished the circuits and the animation and everything to make this thing work, this mech work. And now the last thing I want to do is add an interior. Since while making this, it turns out that there's a lot of space to be added in the interior, and I wanted to see if I can add an interior to this. So I'm gonna start working on that. Other than that, the invention is beautiful. It works gorgeous, and it looks nice. All right. So you ready for the? You ready to work on the interior?
Absolutely, my brother.
All right. Let's get started. so I just saved this as an invention. Now it's time to show you how to use this mech. So once you get it, I recommend using your maker pen. What you gotta do is turn on world space and grid, spawn it roughly adjacent to the, or as flush to the floor as you can. Once it's loaded in, as you can see in all its glory, locate this big clamp, or for my older inventions, you can find the lowest piston, which is this right here. But for this mech, I spawned a big main base clamp, which this clamp has everything attached to it, except for a little bit of circuits. So all I need to do is turn on grid world space, and all I need to do is just rotate it so slightly and put it back, and it should straighten it out. Because the main reason is that sometimes when you spawn in inventions, it will spawn it slightly slanted or off place. So to fix that, you can simply turn on grid world space. So what you got to do is just rotate it a little bit, rotate back on all 3 axes, like so. And what can help you see the little green outline around the clamp? It should line up exactly around the clamp. So the last thing to do to line up is raise it like this and set it just to make sure it's set. And there you go. You have successfully spawned in one of my inventions. So how does it work? So you just simply fly up to the cockpit, jump in the little seat, and you see these 2 joysticks. As I put a little pilot tip, how it works is you grab the joysticks. This is for movement, and this is to look up and down, left and right. So as you can see, all I need to do is I recommend sitting for this. All I need to do is point in the direction you want to move and look. So as you can see, I am simply turning the joystick so slightly, and it turns the entire mech turret. I can look up, down, left, right. And to shoot the guns, as you can see, turret rotate and guns, I just pull the trigger. So that's just the turret and the guns. So since this mech is a little bit on the newer side of my inventions, this mech can look in one direction and move in a completely different direction. So I can move forward. If I point in the direction, I will move in the direction. But if I point a little to the left, I will move left, or to the right. Or if you want to be extra fancy, you can point backwards, and you can move backwards while looking forward at the same time. Crazy, right? So I call this a dual movement system, where you can move and look in different directions. This is going to be a new thing in my newer inventions, and it should be consistent like this for a fair amount of time. So that's how you simply drive the mech. I think it's pretty cool. Drive it around a little bit. And a cool feature about my newer CV2 mechs is that this is the second CV2 mech I've made. So simply, if you drop your little joystick, it'll reset its head position back to its default position. So if you're on screen mode, and since this is CV2 and screen mode compatible, if you do get a little lost with the little head movement, all you need to do is simply drop the joystick. As you can see, I'm pointing in that direction. Drop it, and it should reset.
So, now that the invention is finished, I think that it's time to conclude the video. I hope you all enjoyed. I will see you all in the next video. Bye bye!